afternoon. Good afternoon from gloomy. My name is Mariam Isa Al Ali Zastapel. I put God first. This is my story, and I have a purpose. I help others embrace their authentic self to serve a bigger purpose. Everything I do in my life, from the minute I wake up in the morning to the minute I go to sleep at night, is in service of something bigger than who I am.
That's true. And my name is Alexander Zastapel. My purpose is to bring out the strength in others so they can take full control of their life and gain all rights to their existence.
Guys, existence. And we come to you guys every single Tuesday at 12 p.m. Miami time. That's 9 p.m. Dubai time, to bring to you a topic that is related to your life and to your business. And today's topic is going to be about the 3 components of confident speakers. This program is powered by Purple Circle, by our amazing friend and brother and business partner, William. You can follow him at Wi-Fi on Instagram. So that being said, let's talk about the 3 components of confident speaking. I started by saying, for you to be a confident speaker, it's not about who you're going to be to. It's about you understanding yourself first so you can communicate with other people better. Many people think, oh, speaking means I have to blah words into someone else. That's not speaking. That's chit-chatting. That's having a conversation. That's blabbing. Not speaking. That's not, exactly, it's blabbing, right? It's not you. But when you understand that speaking, it starts with you understanding who you are, which we're going to be talking about in a second. You understand that speaking, it starts with you, and it starts with the 3 things. I would start the first thing.
Yeah, go for it.
The first component of confident speakers, they actually listen. What does listening mean? Listening means someone giving their attention to a sound. When you say I am listening, it means you are giving your attention to a sound, right? So think about it. How many of you guys been in a situation and you are speaking, but nobody's listening? And if someone is not listening to you, it is your total, full responsibility. If someone is not listening to you, don't say, oh my God, it's not showing me, they're ignoring me. It doesn't matter. It's you. For you to be a good speaker, you need to be a great listener, someone who is paying attention to a sound. Like, for example, if Alex is talking to me, but I'm not listening, I'm on my phone. Yes, Alex, I'm listening to you. Don't, Habibi, no, don't worry. I'm listening to you, you know? I'm not listening. I'm not listening to him because I am not actually doing the act of giving my attention to a sound. If there's no attention, there is no listening. If you're not giving your attention, full attention, like all your attention units are on that person or that thing or that program, you're not listening. I don't believe in multitasking. What is this multitasking thing? I believe that you are doing one thing at a time. Some certain things take 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Certain things take 2 days, right? But the idea is when you are listening, you are literally paying attention to a sound. And here's the thing, every single great speaker I met in my life who created an impact on my life in a way or another, whether I met that person in person or virtual or I heard them or whatever, the greatest speakers are the greatest listeners. They really listen.
Yeah, 100%. There's a quote that I heard, like I read a while back, actually. It's out of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey book. And one of the habits, one particular one, like 1 out of the 7 is seek first to understand and then be understood, right? A lot of us want to get our word in. Like how many of you want to talk right before the person's even done talking, right? You want to get in, you want to get your sentence in, you want to get into the conversation. You want to get your word in, right? You're so eager to get your sentence in that you've stopped listening to them.
Wow.
And what happens there is you didn't fully understand what they were even saying. You don't actually know how to talk to them because you never understood them, right? You understand what they were actually saying. But you have to seek to understand and be understood. That's by Stephen Covey, and that's always stuck with me ever since I read that. So instead of me trying to get my sentence in, cutting someone off, I need to wait until they're completely done and analyze first by me listening what they were actually saying. I'm telling you, all of the secrets into speaking is listening to what the other person is saying. Like all what they want and what they're trying to tell you is what they're saying.
Wow.
Right? If you try to get your word in and cut people off and you're not actually listening, you're not going to actually know how to help that person. You're not going to know how to communicate with that person. It's going to break right there. The communication is going to break.
100%.
And you're not going to actually have a communication line in place. Like you're not going to be able to communicate with them.
Yeah. And here's the thing, Alex, you just mentioned something really profound here about understanding. Many of us, we listen to respond. You listen to understand, not to respond. The minute you actually shift your mind, that say, you know what, I'm going to be listening to Alex to understand Alex, not to respond to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm going to say, for example, Alex comes in late, okay?
Uh-oh.
Oh my God, I could act like this. Oh my God, I'm going to go listen. Why are you late? So am I listening to actually understand, or am I listening to reply? Let me see what he has to say. I know how to reply to him. That's not how it is. This is how can I speak to my husband properly if I'm not listening to him properly? And when we say speaking, by the way, we don't mean speaking in the stages only or with your team. Even speaking to a person, one-to-one. You're speaking to your line manager, to your spouse, to your friend. It's a communication still, as a type of speaking as well. So here is the thing, like when you understand that you are listening to someone in order for you to understand and respond, not listening to respond. When you notice many people get into quarrels and getting into problems because they are not listening to understand. If I'm a native speaker, I need to listen to what my audience has to say intuitively and not say, for example, if Alex come to me and say, oh, Mariam, this thing happened to me. I don't know what to do. I couldn't close the deal. Yeah, me too. I couldn't close the deal too. I'm not listening to him. When was the last time someone compared their situation to yours and it's like a competition? Oh, this happened to you. Oh, listen to this worst thing that happened to me. This is not listening. This is not listening. This is actually acting like you're some kind of a victim to a situation.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So the first attribute, the first component of a great speakers, that they are great listeners.
What was the first one? I wasn't listening.
This is the first one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
That's
awesome. So
I'm listening to understand, not to reply.
Okay, that was a joke.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the first one is listening. You want to actually understand what the other person's saying. I'm telling you, in anything that you're doing with your spouse, like Mariam said, with the audience, with a group of people, with maybe you're teaching someone, maybe you're coaching someone, maybe you could be doing any form of communication, and communication is like one-to-one, one group of 50 people, one group of 17,000.
Right.
This goes all of that, and when you do it in a group, little tip here, you want to bounce back and forth. You want to say, does everybody understand? Raise your hand if you understand what I'm saying. Or you can say, if you're in virtual, you can put yes in the chat. If nobody's putting yes, that means they weren't listening. Nobody's raising their hand. They're like, like they probably weren't listening. That means you didn't have their attention, right? Mm-hmm. That means you weren't actually analyzing and paying attention to see if they were listening. It can go both ways. So that's the first component of being a confident speaker. And we see this in you guys can think of people, right? Steve Harvey, Grant Cardone, we do.
John Maxwell,
William Roa, that these are all confident speakers, right? So here's the thing. Listen first, seek first to understand, and then you be understood. It's not seek first and be understood, right? It doesn't work like that. You seek first to understand and then be understood.
100%. Profound, guys. I hope you're taking notes, because here's the thing. Many people talk about listening, but they don't know why they need to listen.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know why they need to listen. And when you actually understand and you can actually communicate and speak to the person better. I cannot coach people and help them with their businesses if I'm not listening to them first. Oh no, I think you need purpose. They don't need purpose. Maybe they need to go ahead and know how to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Right now. Maybe they're not ready to find their purpose yet. Whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. So that's number one.
Yeah, go ahead.
The second component of great speakers is that they have a very powerful ability to acknowledge. Acknowledging you means I'm hearing you. I recognize that you exist. I acknowledge someone means I recognize that they actually exist. I acknowledge you. By the way, acknowledgement doesn't mean agreement. Okay? For example, if Alex says, oh, we need to go to a seafood restaurant tonight, and I want to go to a seafood restaurant, I want to go to a Mexican restaurant. So instead, what? That's is why do you want to go to seafood? I already went to seafood. Oh my God, Alex, what is this? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not listening. Number one, I'm not acknowledging the guy. So I could say, okay, I understand. Mexican last week. Did you go to a different kind of cuisine this week? It doesn't mean I agree. I didn't say, oh my God, Alex, I want to go with you to a Mexican restaurant. Seafood restaurant. Maybe I want to do something else. But if
she
you
has
don't,
Mexican on her mind.
yeah, I am. Maybe we should go later. So here, if you don't acknowledge the person, you cannot speak to them. You can't, because you're going to think, oh my God, like first, listen, if you're not listening, we're going to be able to acknowledge the person. Acknowledge them, acknowledge that they actually exist, that what they're saying matters. Your children, for those who have children, right? When your child says something to you, do you acknowledge them, or you be like, chop, shut up, don't say, sit. This is how I was raised, right? But the idea of it is, guys, when you acknowledge someone, you will be able to even speak with them with more confidence. As we mentioned at the beginning of this program, speaking starts with you. For you to be able to speak to other people, starts with you understanding yourself by listening. And the second thing is by acknowledging them. If you cannot acknowledge, you cannot understand. So that's when I do understand, and people say, oh my God, Liam, you're always after money. I understand, you're right. I'm acknowledging I agree with the person. I acknowledge the person, doesn't mean I agree with them. Right? When I acknowledge Alex, I say that his existence matter, that I see him, I understand, you know, when I said that, yeah, it's when I see a client talking to him about something, and maybe I have a different opinion, but I will not devalue that person and say, oh no, your opinion is wrong. I acknowledge, I understand. Sure. When someone says to me, Mariam, for example, I cannot be successful because my friend says so. I wouldn't agree with that, but I will acknowledge, I see where you're coming from. But it doesn't mean when I say I see where you're coming from, I don't mean I agree with that statement, but I see their perspective, I see their slant on life. It doesn't mean that I agree. Acknowledgement means that you said to this person, I see you exist, your opinion matter. Agreement is something else. Agreement say you actually genuinely agree with that person and what they're saying.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about acknowledgement?
Yeah. Well, you're completely wrong. Just kidding. But what happens if I don't acknowledge, like, you just like start screaming at the other person and yelling and being like, you don't know anything about, that's not acknowledging. So I just want to give you an example of that. But if you say, I understand, I'm with you, and you really just put yourself in the other person's shoes, like Miriam's talking about here. Like, you really just think about, oh my gosh, they've lived a completely different life than I have. Someone telling me something is based off of their perspective of life. Right? So if I don't acknowledge that means I'm not acknowledging their existence, like Mary said. Right? When someone's telling me something or they're angry about it, it's because of something that's happened to them, especially if they're like reacting, right? It's because of something that's happened to them in their life that I don't completely understand. But when I say I understand, I'm saying I understand that they have come from somewhere, right? That I understand where they're coming from. Like they've lived a certain life that I have not, and I'm acknowledging their existence. I'm acknowledging what they are saying. But if I don't, that means they're not gonna believe that I know what they are saying. They're not gonna believe that I'm listening. They're not gonna believe that I'm present with them. They're not gonna believe that I'm actually with them, right? So they're not gonna believe that if I don't acknowledge them. Like, how many of you have had, you've been in a conversation and you haven't been acknowledged? Like, you talk the whole time and the other person just starts screaming back at you. They start yelling at you for no reason. They start responding without even acknowledging anything that you just said.
Right.
How does that make you feel?
Right.
Right? You're like, what, was this person even listening to me? And again, like all three of these components today, they all go hand in hand. It's not like one's more important than the other. They're all important, and you need to do all three of them. Okay. So number one was listening. Number two, acknowledging. Acknowledge what someone is saying.
Yeah.
And by acknowledging, we mean acknowledging that they're actually there right in front of you.
Right.
Because sometimes it feels like you're talking to someone and they don't acknowledge you. They're like, you feel like, did they even hear anything I said? Do they even see me here? Are they actually listening to me?
Mm-hmm.
You start questioning those things, and you're not going to feel very good about that person because they just want to get their word in. They doesn't sound like they really care, about what you're saying. So acknowledgement is totally important. It's absolutely necessary in every single conversation, 100% of the time. This is not a sometimes thing. This is always.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, guys, as we mentioned already, like acknowledgement doesn't mean agreement, but again, just the fact that I acknowledge, I see you guys, so many different screens here.
Yep.
Sorry, I acknowledge you guys, whether you are watching the live, whether you're watching the archive, I acknowledge and I thank you for being here and investing 30 seconds or the whole hour. Because again, I don't even see the person when I say thank you. It's an acknowledgement. When someone comes to your house, do you say, thank you for being here? Or you say, thank you so much for joining us today. It's different when you actually do that. Okay?
Yep.
So that's the second component of a great speakers. As we mentioned at the beginning, to be a speaker, it starts with you. It starts being able to listen to the audience, whoever the audience is, one person, a group of people, or a full area. The second thing is you go ahead and acknowledge the people. The third component of confidence is they're present. Their present is they are there with you at a very specific period of time. I'm present with you. Do we have going on in our lives? Yeah. Do we have things we need to take care of after this call? Yeah. Do we have a business to run? Do you have commitment to adhere to? Yes. Did I just come out from an amazing call that I'm doing something so outside of my comfort zone, and Alex just realized before the call that he's involved in it?
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm not going to talk about all this now because I am here right now for the hour from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard here in the beautiful Miami. I will be with Alex delivering Clear and Conquer Live, and the topic is the component of confident speaker. That's what we are here for, and that's why I'm present here with you. There is a lot of different things in our physical universe right now, but I'm not paying any attention to it. I'm not paying attention to the session, to this call, to what I'm saying. I'm present. Many of you guys are actually talking to people, but they're not with you. You know what is the worst part? It's that you are the one who's causing this. If you are a speaker and you're not present, don't say why they're leaving the session. Why are they listening to me? What is going on? You're there with that person. You're not present with that person. You're not paying attention to that person. That's why it's not clear to that person that you are paying attention to that person. Because you're not present. Guys, I was so bad with this. It's not even funny. I was so bad with this. There was someone in front of me, and I don't think I'm being present. I'm not. I'm listening. I'm not acknowledging. I'm on my phone. No, Habib, keep listening to you. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. That's why sometimes when I'm actually doing something on my phone, if I get someone in front of me, I will say, excuse me, I'm actually gonna reply to this thing very quickly with you in a second. So again, I'm listening, I'm acknowledging the person, and I'm telling them, I'm not with you, I need to be handling this thing, and then I'm gonna be with you in a second. This means that I'm being present with the person. If I'm not being present with the person, how can I speak with them? When I do sessions, when I see Alex doing his coaching calls with his clients, I know Alex is present, not paying attention to me. I will not ask her, why Alex is ignoring me? He's not ignoring me. What is this spoiled wife? I want attention all the time, right? I don't want his attention when he's talking book live, right? Sometimes Alex pays so much attention to the call that even if he has a water or a cup of coffee in front of him, he will not drink it. This is how present he is with the person, right? Unless we are doing something together and maybe I talk, he drinks. But here's the thing: if you're not present, if you are not present with the person, you're not a good speaker. Because sometimes like imagine, like as a speaker, you just go all around. You're not listening, you're not acknowledging, and you're not present. And by the way, in our we have a speaker master class this upcoming weekend. This is to be teach them how to be present. There's an activity for it. I'm not gonna do it on YouTube or on Instagram or whatever, because you need to be there with me for you to actually show you how to do it. It's not exercise. It's not what, oh my God, tell yourself positive affirmation. Don't have time positive affirmation, right? Sometimes you just do it, right? So when you are listening, when you are acknowledging and you're being present, these are the amazing 3 attributes of great speakers. We're going to talk about execution in a second here, but if you want to say that I am a confident speaker, it means you are listening, you are acknowledging, and you're being present. What do you have to say about being present?
Well, I was really bad at this too. This was something that I wasn't able to really do. My mind kind of goes everywhere and it gets distracted, right? Or used to anyways. And where I started correcting it is just noticing and being aware that it was happening. So for example, if you know, I put my attention on the table, my attention's not on the screen anymore. It's not here anymore. Like there's a really nice table over there, right? And or maybe, you know, our balcony's beautiful, right? So if I put my attention in there, I'm not really thinking about what I'm supposed to be doing here. And what happens is during a conversation, your mind goes somewhere else. You have to catch that, because if you don't, you're not going to be present with the other person. Again, you stopped listening to them. You're not going to be able to acknowledge. You're going to be like, yeah. And they're like, you understand what I'm saying? You're like, yeah, of course. Yes. Yep. And we weren't actually listening. You weren't actually there, right? The first mistakes that's going to happen is you're not present, right? That's the first thing that's going to go out. And when you're not being there, present with them, you're not going to hear what they're saying. You're not going to be able to acknowledge what they're saying, because you didn't actually hear what they said. You weren't there. You were somewhere else. Your mind was maybe on, you know, maybe you owe money to someone, or you were late to someone early. Maybe you did something earlier in the day and you're thinking about it. Maybe there's something in the future that hasn't even happened yet that you're worried about, right? Something that you shouldn't even be worried about, but you're worried about that instead of being present with the person.
Wow.
Right? So like Miriam said, if you have to like handle something immediately, be like, 1 second, I have to handle this right now. Give me 30 seconds and I'll be with you in 30 seconds. Right? I'll be with you in 30 seconds. I'll be with you in a second here. And by doing that, you're telling them that you're not present with them, and you're respecting them as well at the same exact time. So for me personally, I had to really become aware of this. And there's an actual, you can call it a drill. You can call it like an assignment that Miriam does inside of the masterclass. She has a 3-day class that she does. She's doing one this weekend. And she goes over how to be present with someone. And how powerful is it to be present? It's extremely powerful, because you're actually in the now. You're worried about the future, and you're not worried about something that you in the future right now, right? You should be with us right now. But are you, right? Maybe you didn't, I don't have your full attention. That's my fault for not having full attention. That's my fault for you not being present, not yours. But when you are present, you can actually hear and listen to what's going on. How many of you, just out of curiosity here, I don't have a reaction, but how many of you, I'm talking to you, have this happened to you, to where you were at a conference and you didn't know what the speaker said? You weren't present, right? You were thinking about something else. You might have missed like the most crucial piece of information that you needed, but you weren't actually present in the moment.
Right.
So you didn't hear what they said. So being present can be on one side or the other side, but it is 100% necessary in every single situation. You should be living in the now anyways, instead of worried about the future and worried about something that you can't change in the past.
I love that. I love that. And here's the thing, you said something very profound about being present. Sometimes you are in a session, you are in a call, and thinking about something that happened, or is happening, or it's gonna happen. So again, here's the thing, guys. If you are thinking about something that happened, or you are worrying about it happening in the future, you're not present. You're not. Like, what's the point? You are in a call right now, you're in a meeting, and you're thinking about something that happened to you, or thinking about you're being worried about it. It's not going to change it, by the way. When you are in that session and you are worried about something that happened or it's gonna happen, you're not present. And when you're not present, guess what? You're not speaking very well. You're Maryam, what was the question again? I'm not there because I'm thinking I'm not there, I'm not present. I'm somewhere in the past or somewhere in the future that didn't happen yet. Right? And again, the greatest speakers understand that they need to be great listeners, they need to acknowledge others, and number 3, they need to go ahead and be present. And it's a skill. I was not good at it. Alice was not good at it. Again, a 3 days mastermind we're running, and we're going to help you with that. Again, if someone is interested, go to clearandconquer.com/offer. That's a clearandconquer.com/offer.
Or if you're on Instagram, hit the link in the bio. So with that being said, before we go to the next piece, one thing that I do as well, if I can't be present with someone, I'll communicate that to them. For example, if my attention's somewhere else, I'll be like, I'm not with you right now. Give me 1 second. Let me finish this. And then I'm going to be present with you. Like I'll tell them like that, like for in the car, for example, like when my intention's on the road so we don't die or anything like that. I want to communicate that to Maryam that I'm not listening right now.
Yes.
To make sure that I don't waste her time. Because otherwise she's talking to a wall.
He does it all the time. Like if we are somewhere and he says like hold that thought, and he would until we whatever. Sometimes we went to downtown Miami the other day and we almost missed the exit, but Alex was very present with his driving that he got us out from there. But imagine I'm like, oh my God, he's not listening to me. Why? Hey, listen. His eyes would be on the road. You know, it's not a joke. So here is the thing, guys. It's very powerful when you actually are present and you are recognizing the person and listening to them.
100%. Yeah. So go ahead and you want to go to the next point?
Yes, I want to go to the next point. Yeah. So here are the 3 attributes, as we just mentioned. The next part here we want to share with you guys is it's something more technical now. You know, we spoke about it, how to start with yourself before you speak to an audience. So there are 3 attributes I would like to share with you guys. And this is what we're going to go deeper with in our speaking masterclass this week. And it's a 3 days mastermind, as we have mentioned, masterclass. So the first thing you need to do, now that you understand, oh, I have to listen, I have to acknowledge, and I have to be present. Okay, good. Your condition is perfect. Now get into the session. When you get into the session, you need to understand who you're talking to. So number 1, know your audience. So now you are actually in the session. You should know who you're speaking to. Let's talk about one of my favorite topics of all time. First, but again, I need to know who is the audience. Who am I talking to? Am I talking to university students? Am I talking to women? Am I talking to people who are older? Am I talking to people who are retired? Am I talking to people who want to change their career? Who am I talking to? Sometimes it's a mix of everybody there, which is fine. But if you know your audience, you will not be able to know how to speak. Sometimes you even start to using maybe complicated words. I cannot go ahead to talk to, for example, kids who are like 3-4 years old, talk to them about purpose, and I say the definition of purpose. Some of them, they don't even know how to read, properly yet. I'm using these big words and I don't know. It's the reason for your existence. I'm talking about an important topic like purpose to kids. I have to make it simple for them. If I'm talking to a group of people who've been working and they hate their jobs, right? I have to make it more relatable. Maybe I should just start with a story about when I was in corporate. If you don't know the audience, you will not know how to prepare. You will not know how to prepare before my talking. Like I cannot talk about my years in corporate with someone who just went to college and maybe they don't have any idea what am I talking about when I say corporate and I talk about KPIs and I talk about, oh my God. No? If you don't know your audience, you will not be able to speak with them properly. And the information will not even the communication will not be getting across because you don't know who you're talking to.
That's so important. Wow. That is so important. Imagine exactly. So you are talking all this technical language and you're talking to the wrong people, or let's say in school, for example, there's different levels of understanding in the classroom, right? So knowing your audience and literally observing them, you can tell if someone's listening or confused, right? If you just look at them, you're going to be able to tell it by their face if they're confused. But if you're not actually knowing your audience, if you don't know like the generality of the students, then you're not going to know if that person's getting the information and the communication, right? For example, so if I'm talking about, let's talk about process plant technology. Does anybody know what that is besides me, right? Maybe Will, I don't know. But most people don't know what that is. If I just start talking about that to you, and we're talking about speaking, you're not going to understand anything I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
Like, what about the reactor or the heat exchanger? You remember the heat exchanger or the cold box? You guys know any what I'm talking about? Obviously not. So if you're actually communicating to your audience and knowing what level they are as well, you're not going to communicate to them. If I start off at an advanced level, like you really, let's say accounting, right? Miriam doesn't like it, but maybe you want to do accounting. I just start talking to you up here. You're not going to understand anything I'm saying, even though that you really want to learn about it. So knowing your audience and knowing who you're speaking to is very important, and knowing at what level are they at. Right? Because if you're talking to them way up here and you're supposed to be down here, they're not going to understand anything that you're saying.
Absolutely.
Which is exactly why we're not talking to you all about all of the masterclass material right now.
Correct.
Because that would be going like way up here right away.
It's 12 hours of content.
Yeah. So we're not going to just talk to all of you about the masterclass here. We're going to talk to you about the basic levels that you can use right away, by the way, that you can implement in your life right away. We're not going to start way up here is my point. You have to know your audience. You have to know who you're talking to.
Absolutely, Alex. So this is again, know your audience, and maybe some people think this is like, oh, it's simple. I'll just talk to the people and then no. If you are really want to go ahead and communicate properly with someone, you need to know exactly who you're talking to. What women are they? Working women? Are they women who are looking for jobs? Is it a mix of everybody? What these women want to be there to be inspired to work? Because I'm going to tell you something the hard way. Like if I want to go ahead and talk to an audience, I need to know what do they want. What is the end result? We're going to talk about this in a second here, but what is the end results? Mariam, we're going to be talking to a group of students about what? Oh, no, you want to inspire them for what? If you don't know the exact intention, sorry, I'm even jumping to the next one. If you don't know your audience exactly, guess what? You're not going to be able to deliver the message. And by the way, when you cannot deliver the message, it's on you. It's not them. It's because you didn't do due diligence to know who you are talking to. Know your audience, you will be able to move to the next one.
English is my second language.
English is my second language.
English is her second language.
Yes. So number one, you know your audience. The same thing as you set your intention. Okay, good. You know you're going to be talking to a group of women at colleges. Good. Amazing. What's the intention? What is the intention? Why are you going to be spending 2 hours with them or whatever? Be it virtual, like doesn't matter. What is the intention? Why do I want to talk to people about purpose?
I'm going to wing it.
I'm going to wing it. I know the content. I can just go ahead and blob. I read this book. I can, I'm going to just go ahead and say it, right? But when you set your intentions, you're very clear. Oh, I want to go to talk to these people about purpose. They know they are here for a bigger reason, that they need to utilize their gifts, passion, values that can pay them, that people do not need to suffer because they can find their purpose in 2 days. And if someone actually find it in themselves that they're ready for it, they're going to come join me for whatever event, right? That's the intention. But if I'm going to say, oh, I want to inspire them by my story, Ya Allah, oh my God, I want to go ahead and inspire these people by my story because I'm great, because, oh my God, they have a PhD, because I'm married, blah, blah, blah. This is again, you get your intention. If your intention is to help people, you're gonna see something going to you that is bigger than whatever you thought it would be, right? So Alex and I, every time when we go to an event, what is the intention? We're going to the next growth conference in a couple of weeks here, right? What is the intention? To take a selfie with Cardone? Cardone, like, okay, good, fine, good, that's the intention, sure. Or is my intention is to be there and meet a couple of people who together I can partner with and we go take our business to the next level and help more people. That's a different intention. Some people like, I want to go to the conference so I can take my VIP diamond tag and take a picture next to the stage. Okay, good. Yeah, you're paying 10,000 and then you're taking a flight to do this. That's not intention. That's just show off for no reason, right? But when you set your intentions for whatever it is, especially with the speaking, we don't go to meetings to wing it. We don't take a call to wing it when someone send us a message or text our team or something like that. Oh, we want to talk to Maryam and Alex. Good. About what? What's the intention? And some people get irritated. We want to be friends with them. We want to be our friend by our product. Sorry, we learned from the billionaire. You know, you are our friend, which should be some kind of an exchange. I help you with something, you help me with something. Sometimes the exchange is not about buying a product as well. It's something. Like if I keep giving you things and you're only receiving, you're a criminal. And I'm a criminal for giving you things for free as well. But when there is an exchange, there is a value, right? So here is the thing. You set the intention. And when you set the intention, understand that you can help that person more.
100%. You're going to understand exactly how you can help the person. And you want to be specific, okay? That's the thing I had. You want to be very specific. If you're not specific, if you're not like 100% intentional about it, you're going to be at a 50% level and you're going to go all over the place. You have to be specific with what your intentions are, right? That's why massive companies have a mission statement, mission, vision, and their values, right? There's their values, their core values of the company, because it's specific. It's not like, tomorrow be and then maybe we'll change it next year. No, they're specific, right? They have a certain intention, the way they operate the company. There's a fundamental structure, right? Whenever you speak to someone, what's your intention, right? If your intention is just a small talk, then that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a bunch of small talking. I just want to be friends with people. People reach out to be with friends. I'm like, good. What do you understand? Like, do you understand me? Do you what do you want to be friends about? Like, it actually bothers me when people I want to be friends with you. Like,
it just out of the, you would notice, like, by the way, guys, when you understand your true value, don't just friend everybody. Because there are some friends who will not help you. Friends who are liability, they're not assets. If someone's not pulling you up, they're pulling you down. There's nothing in between. No, Maryam, they are in between. They're sometimes pulling me up, and sometimes pulling me down. They're pulling you down then. So that's what Alex is saying. Like, sometimes you can, okay, Maryam, we want to get into a call with you. For what? How can I help you?
Yeah.
Maybe you want me to train your team. Maybe I need to train maybe you need one hour of my time, and I go ahead and help you with something in exchange of something else. When I do meetings with big companies, be it here or in the Middle East, even if it's like I do a 45 free training, I'll be like, I'll give you 45 minutes free training about 10x or whatever, in exchange of a meeting for 30 minutes. Can you do that? Okay. So sometimes it's not about, if the intention is not clear, it's all over the place.
Yes.
It's all over the place.
Yep.
Go ahead.
But yeah, and you start every single conversation with the intention, right? Like, if someone wants to meet with me, I would be more than meet with you. In fact, I love meeting with people. What would be the intention of the meeting? Just ask that question, and you're going to find out a lot of information really fast. What do you mean by the intention of the meeting? Well, you're going to get defensive about it right away. Then what's this like? What is it really about? But if they really want to help you, they really are looking to do something with you. Alex, I want to help 50,000 people in 2 years, or something like that, right? Whatever, something big, something that they know that we would like, right? And maybe if I'm reaching out to someone, I'm gonna talk to them like I'm gonna help solve their problem. I want to actually fix something for them, do something for them before they do something for me.
Correct.
If I'm reaching out to Grant and I'm just like, I want to meet with you, Grant. He's like, good. Congratulations. Like, what? Like, you got passionate about things, because when you have sometimes, when we don't have always in place, you're gonna end up with nevers, right? When you don't always have an intention, when you don't know where you're going, you're gonna confuse the other people.
Correct.
Like, you're gonna be super confusing, and they're gonna be like, "What's this even about?" And that's why people think that other people waste, because people aren't acting right. It's not because of the current person they're talking. It's because of a past experience. right? That where someone wasted their time.
Right.
Right? So, I start conversations off with, to be sure I'm not wasting your time. This is what I want to talk about.
Yes.
Are you interested? Maybe with Grant, like, to be sure I'm not wasting your time, Grant, I'm interested in helping 1 billion kids with education. I know that's very important to you. I would like to have a 5-minute conversation about that, how we can explode that. One of the stuff like that, I'm actually interested in, I'm not just talking about myself. Intention is very deep. You need to have a strong intention. Otherwise, it's just going to end with a lot of fluff. It's going to be a small talk. That's where that comes into play.
And it's gonna be like a conversation. It's not a speaking. When you speak, as we said, you listen. There is actually acknowledgement, and there is actually being present. And again, when you understand when you set your intentions and you know your audience, you go into that meeting prepared. And by the way, this thing doesn't take 10 days. It takes minutes, if not, to actually go ahead and conquer that. I would 100%. Like to go to the third one, if that's
go ahead.
So go ahead and speak with someone. Now, these are the part that Clear and Conquer does. You know your audience. You go ahead and make sure that you are setting the intentions. And the last thing is, okay, now that you have set your intentions, what do you want the people to walk out from that session trading with? What is the results? What can the people do? If you notice, they don't say, oh my God, come join our Accountability 365 because we want to inspire you.
No.
Go talk to anyone who's part of our accountability or was part of our accountability group. We didn't do this program and we're spending 365 days with someone to meeting them twice a week in our program to inspire them. We want them to get results. Of course, there's an inspirational aspect to it, of course, but the intention is to get them results. And by the end of every session, and we run these programs twice a week, so on Wednesdays and on Sundays, what kind of tools can they actually go ahead and execute on? And we know that because every single session, we actually have something they can do in the session. We don't say, oh, have this information, off you go. No. In the session, they actually go ahead and do something to execute on it. So the question is, are you actually, when you go ahead and you know the audience, you say sessions, do the audience walk away from your session, meeting, events, conference, whatever you're doing, knowing exactly what they need to do and be like, oh, wow, Mariam was inspiring. Oh, my God, that was amazing. Oh, Mariam, you're an inspiration. You're amazing. Your session, your Instagram live was blah. Okay, good. Follow him. Like, what happened yesterday? What did you talk about yesterday? I don't know. So I didn't do right because I didn't give the person certain skills or certain tools that she can go ahead and do it. And they go on Instagram live. What is my intention? Oh, today's topic, I'm going to talk about this topic. People can. Sometimes I just go on Instagram live. Let me go provoke some people. That's the intention. And I always get what I'm putting out there, right? So here is the thing. You know the audience, you know the intentions, and again, you see the results. As a speaker, if you're talking only talks, and people walk away from your session, meeting, whatever, confused, or they feel good about it, but they don't know how to execute on it, there is a problem.
Yeah, 100%. And Mariam's talking about the beginning, like starting with the end in mind, like what do you actually want to occur, right? And that should be goal for your life too, by the way. Like if you're not starting with the end in mind, you don't know what your legacy wants to look like. You're not clear about what your future is going to look like. Your future is going to be uncertain because you're uncertain about your future.
100%.
If you're uncertain about a conversation that you're having, you don't know what you want out of the conversation, they're going to be confused because you are. But if you're certain and you're 100% sure about what you want and what you will do for them, they're going to be able to hear that in the communication.
Wow.
If you're all over the place, they're going to be all over the place.
Correct.
What Mariam just said, what you put out is what you're going to get. If we want to go poke some people, that's what's going to happen. Right? If we want more attention, that's what's going to happen. If we want to join a conversation with Grant, that's what's going to happen. Put out is what you're going to get. So if you're putting out a whole bunch of excuses and all the reasons why you're not going to be able to communicate with that person, why you can't be on the stage, all the reasons, like you just keep on talking about that you have stage fright and all these different things, and you're not actually going to go do something about to fix the stage fright, then that's what's going to keep on happening to you.
Yes.
That's what you're thinking about that is going to happen in the end. That's your end in mind. That is what you were going to be thinking about school. So what you put out into the universe, you want to call it, what you put out into the world, whatever you want to call it, is what you're going to get. So watch out what you are saying and act out what you want the result to be. Super intentional about this. We start every single session that we have with the end in mind.
Yes.
Right? What do we want people to do next?
Yes.
Because if they don't have anything to do next, that's our fault, by the way. If they don't know what to do next, if they're not sure about, they're going to be confused. That's our fault. So you always want a next step. If there's no next step in life, that probably means there's going to be death, right? Like, because there's no next step, there's not anywhere to go, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Not physical death. I mean, just be death of that dream or death of that communication.
Yeah. And sometimes people think if they don't have a next step, they're gonna stay where they are. There is no such thing as staying where you are. It's whether you move forward or you move backward.
Yep.
Not just saying, oh my God, I got to my size 0. I'm gonna stay where I am. Khalas, no more gym. Guess what? Watch your weight coming back.
Faster than you disappear.
Exactly, because you stopped doing the work. It's whether you advance or go back. Nothing is stable in this universe. Nothing is stable. It's whether you keep going, moving forward, or you go back. No such thing. Oh my God, I'm gonna stay where I am, and I'm gonna keep going up. It's whether you go up or you go down. There's nothing else in between.
Wow.
So speakers, to all the speakers out there, you need to know your audience and like put effort into it. Not say, oh, I'm speaking to a group of women. About what? That's what you say. What do you want that group to get out of it? And again, the third thing is, what do they actually do after that? What do they actually do after they are in your presence? I mean, some people sometimes I just go into Instagram lives and I do these sessions and I'm like, I want someone to think different. All what I want is not to even you maybe doing something physical. Maybe I want this person to provoke their ideas, to think maybe they can do more. If I go with the intention, I'm going to talk about 10x, so expand someone's mind, and then I go ahead into a session and I talk about 10x and I made you think about your life and how can you make it become better, I did my job.
Or she could just be like, I just want to inspire these people.
Oh, inspire. By the way, it's inspiration. Someone inspires you today, but tomorrow you're gone. People keep coming, Mariam, why don't you do Instagram lives as much as before? What you need me for inspiration? You need to be the one who is inspiring yourself. Come to me for results.
Boom.
Come to me for results. Come to me, like we have a speaking master class, right? If you guys have been getting so much value today and you want to even get the applicable part of it, as Alex said, you always have the next step. You join our speaking master class. You can go to clearandconquer.com/offer, or if you are on Instagram, go click in our links in the bios, right? It takes you directly to the session.
It is, by the way, that's our most popular event that we do, the quickest results that people get.
Yes.
People completely turn their lives around in a way shorter period of time. It's absolutely incredible. Everybody loves it. I get excited about it, even though that Mariam is running most of the masterclass because she's been doing this for 17 years. But it's absolutely amazing to see when people transform. There's a reason why we keep on doing this, right? There's a reason why we keep on coming on Instagram Live and going and helping people, because we see the results in others.
Yes.
If something didn't work, we would get rid of it. But notice how the masterclass comes back because it works so well.
Right.
Right. We repeat successful actions, and when we see things that happen and results in other people, we're going to repeat that because we want to help more people. That's our intention. Right? Our intention is not to inspire them, not to motivate them. It's to give them the tools so they can actually be a confident speaker. By the way, that's the end result.
Yes, absolutely. I think here's the thing, guys. Like with everything we have shared with you guys today, someone can inspire you, but not everybody can give you results unless you want to do the work. We can give you as much tool as we want, or as much as we can. So with that being said, guys, we have a speaking master class. You join us in that master class. We're going to talk about all what we just talked about, like how you become more present, how you acknowledge, and how you listen. Not the listening you've been hearing about only, like listening. It's listening skills. No, we're not going to talk about listening skills. We're going to talk about how to apply that. We're going to talk about the different attributes. We're going to talk about soul language, body language. Yes, soul language. We're going to talk about the 5 ways to connect with the audience, storytelling, stats, storytelling, Oh my god, at the top of my head. Authenticity, stats, and common ground. These are the 4 things we're going to be talking about and executing on in session. Like we don't execute on it. Oh my day. No, do it as a homework. No, in session. You send me a video in session. I critique you in session. That's why it's only open for 10 people.
Yep.
So with that being said, Alex, I think I have nothing else to
No,
add.
that's all. Clearingconquer.com/offer is where you can go. Clearingconquer.com/offer. Okay, and we would love to be there. We only have a few more spots left because it is our most popular event we do. It does sell out, so make sure you take advantage if you want to do it right now, or you can reach out to us, of course. But we do come live every single Tuesday at noon Eastern, 9 p.m. UAE time for Clear Live. This was episode number 38, and you can literally see that we were consistent 38 weeks in a row because we also believe in consistency. We appreciate you all joining. Thank you, William, by the way, for producing this show and being such an amazing friend, a person, a being. Like, he is truly incredible. If you don't follow him, you should. And actually, you must. It's at Wi-Fi Instagram. Super simple. Connect with Wi-Fi. William on Instagram at Wi-Fi. Okay. Thank you all for joining. Be great and have an amazing rest of your week.
Take care, guys. Have a good one. Go Conquer. Bye.
Let's go. See you.